Greetings, fellow earthlings. Want to check out my room? Boyfriend? Come on. Okay. Now that the cat's here. I would describe my style as quirky, sentimental. I like everything to have a story behind it. So there's very few things in my room that I have just for aesthetics. Where shall we begin? Let's go over here. This is my dresser. It is probably the nicest piece of furniture I own. It is my grandmother's. It's one of the first pieces of furniture they bought when they moved to the United States from Canada. A candle that I'm obsessed with. I got it at the Silver Lake flea market. This guy called me over and I was like, okay, I'll talk to him. And he immediately could tell that I grew up in the South. I don't think I sound Southern, so I was very impressed, but he's also from the South. And this candle smells like the South. It smells like magnolia and pine. Obsessed. There was a photograph of my mother and brother. I had pink eye in this photo. That's fun. This is another candle, custom made for me by my friend's Etsy shop. I'll link it down below. Her name is Heather, and she makes essential oil candles. I struggle with anxiety, so she made one called Anxiety Be Gone, and I just love that it has like my name on it. So cute! I have this jar of scrunchies, which is why none are in my hair today. They are Rainbow Order. It used to be an artichoke jar, and it still kind of smells like it. So here you can see a lot. Let's start here. A gentleman caller gave me flowers, and I kept the vase and filled it with chocolate. I have lipsticks. I have this wonderful rustic caddy, again from Etsy, that I'm obsessed with because I need to stop saying that word so much. But I can have all my bracelets, my dangly earrings, my lipsticks, rings, necklaces. I can have all of it right here. I also have some little kitsch behind the jewelry display. This is what's called a costume rendering from a show I did in college, and the costume designer gave us all one of our renderings as a gift. I just love the thought that someone had to think about me. Post it. Can you see it? I have little doodles that I doodled. One of my favorite things in my room, it's the accessory. It's a tree for accessories, and I have some lip glosses in here too. But I just think it's so practical. I'm a big earring person, especially small kitschy earrings. Over here is one of the best gifts I have gotten. I recently got arthritis, and it makes it really hard for me to use my hands and do handwriting. One of my friends thought that a glass pen would be easier for me. So it comes with ink, it feels very fancy, and it's easier on my hand. So considerate. This is needlepoint that my grandmother did herself because I'm a drama queen and I love cats and I never dress well. I thought this was hilarious. It's subtle, but it conveys so much energy. And lastly, in this little corner are these little pom-poms. That was from a gift bag that my uncle gave to me. My family lives all over. My family is not super close until the most recent years, and we've kind of bonded more. And so this was one of the first things he did as an uncle that made me really feel loved. So I kept the pom-poms and I love the colors. And I actually based a lot of the colors in my room around this tassel from a gift bag. Over to my bed. I am a child and I still have stuffed animals, but I tucked them in the corner so we can forget and we can just sit and be catched. So behind me on this wall, I used to have this amazingly epic wall of show posters from shows I was in when I was in college. I had to take them all down when I was filming a project because of copyright reasons, but I ended up really liking what I did with the space anyway. It just feels a little more grown up and less like my resume on a wall. I put up these vines because I love greenery and nature, but I kill a lot of it. And I added the tassels because it just felt kind of naked without all the color. I was in the Life Teen choir in high school. I joined choir before I joined Catholicism, so music and faith are very intertwined for me. And this was the band, and they all signed nice things when I abandoned them for California. This is my proof of Canadian citizenship. I am dual. Your girl can do both, but do not quiz me on geography for either. This was my grad cap. It says, "I know the plans I have for you," which is from Jeremiah. I love these colors together. I love how sparkly and girly it is, and just the accomplishment. Humble brag, but I graduated with honors, and just having that reminder of everything that I've done. Instead of having all the show posters, that kind of encapsulates. It's a cap. I have yet another needlepoint. So my grandmother, who's a genius, and my grandfather, who made this frame, I grew up with this in every single bedroom I've ever had. It says Maison de Madeleine, which is what Maddie is short for. And as a little girl, I would just picture myself living in this house, and I still think that when I have a future home and not an apartment, I probably will use this as a model, because it's always felt cozy to me. All right, can you guys guess what my favorite shape is? The hexagon. I thought I'd have them like covered in plants and minimalistic, but I immediately packed them with stuff. When I was a little girl, I was always finding hearts and smiley faces and things, and my family knew this very well, because I was always like, look, it's a heart, look, it's a smiley face. But my grandfather, bless his soul, may he rest in peace, he tried to make jewelry for me, and he hot glued this rock he found that looks like a heart, and I don't think I can ever wear it because the chain is short and the rock is heavy, but it's so good. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that the case he put it in says Lady Grace, and Grace is my middle name. So that's really cool. How did I never notice that? So speaking of rocks, I have this other rock that also looks like a heart, just kind of a, you know, clogged artery like one that my father got in Hawaii. It was a trip I was not invited on, but I appreciate the rock. And this is a clown nose. I got this on a film set. I was working on a commercial for National Red Nose Day, and it was such a fun shoot, and they let us keep the noses. I love clowning, but I don't necessarily love clowns. This is a candle that actually has no meaning besides the fact I got it at Michael's. This is a photo of my BFA class. I'm panning it very quickly just in case I don't want their faces shown, but those are my classmates in college and, you know, lifers. I have a rosary because, again, I'm Catholic. I have a faux plant because, again, I kill things. So this one has one of the other nicest gifts I've ever received. One of my friends for my birthday, she hand wrote a bunch of compliments to me, and that's what every single one of these pieces of paper is. So she sent me this. So if I'm feeling really down on myself, I can just read those and remember I am so loved by my friends. This is Zorro. He's a baby skunk. I love skunks. They are arguably my favorite animal, right behind cats. That's just pretty. It doesn't really mean anything except that the little bird came from a vase from a gentleman caller. We no longer speak. A homemade air plant hanger. You'll see some other ones in my room. They took forever to make because I had to cure the wood, but it was one of my first quarantine projects and I killed the air plant, but luckily it looks good dry. I had accumulated a bunch of cards, and I love cards. I love the sweet sentiments. So I cut out some of my favorite bits from cards and put it into a collage. I have a few of them, but this one I framed. Just sweet little tidings of joy. It's just my notebook where I journal about life, my reading light, and some Shakespeare because I love me some Willie Shakes. This is another quarantine DIY piece. Originally I was gonna put a plank and make it into a shelf, so have those be like flush, but it seemed really precarious and I just kind of left it as is. It fits the tassels that are over there, so I like it how it is. Speaking of colors, again, I really love woods, tones, and light colors. I really wanted a color that was bright and kind of Georgia peachy, but technically it's blush. It's a little more pink. All right, let's look at my actual bed post, this wooden simple frame. I got this because when I first moved in this apartment, I was dating a guy who was taller, and I had a bed that would I had the little end bit, and he would always, his feet would hit it, so I bought a frame with him in mind, and then we broke up. Speaking of things that I have because of guys who have broken up with me, I have this lovely floating nightstand that I really like. I wanted to clear up more floor space, so I got rid of my nightstand table thing, replaced it with these two floating shelves. They have drawers. But I have two because I thought, oh, it'll be like a his and hers, and he can put his glasses on one and I'll put my glasses on the other. And yeah, that didn't happen. But I still really like it, and I've filled it up with all my own things. Down below Yoho, I had a little mini trash can, and I was like, perfect, I have all this floor space. But what I didn't think of was that ugly, ugly outlet. So I took some books that I like and I stacked it on top. Problem solved. I also have a space heater because we're too cheap to pay for heating, and I have a fan because we're too cheap to pay for air. Let's look at this rug I'm on. So this rug I originally bought for underneath my bed because I didn't want to have to deal with cleaning under my bed, but I was so excited to get this rug. I got it from esalerugs.com. This is not sponsored. I just think they are the best site for rugs because it's cheap. But I love this rug. I was so excited to get it, so I unrolled it. And we both just loved it where it was. I like this because I can work out on the rug, and it just feels nicer on my feet and on his paws. So we kept the rug as it is. This big obvious blue thing. This is my filming area. I do a lot of filming. So it's blue on one side, green on the other. I put it up a little cockamamie. This is the newest addition to my room as a gift from my father. My tripod, which would be a lot easier to film this video if I was using, but I'm moving around too much. So yes, this is a multi-purpose space, and it's pretty big. And if you're like, how does she have such a big room in LA? It's because originally it was for 2 people. This room comfortably fits 2 full-sized beds. You could maybe squeeze 2 queens. But the other girl who I was sharing a room with turned out to be dramatically unpleasant. So after she moved out, my other roommate and I decided it's worth it to just pay more and have it be the 2 of us. So now we each have our own bedroom, which is something I had not had since high school, and it's been so nice. This side used to be where she dwelled. I used to originally have my keyboard and my piano in the living room, and after she moved out, we thought it'd be good to move the keyboard into here. So that's why I can work on music late at night. So I have my keyboard, I put it on a desk because I thought it looked cuter, and I didn't want to take away from the window because it's the only source of sun I have. This desk I really like. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. As you can see through the little drawers, which mean I just get maximum sun while still having storage and still having a keyboard. But I do use it as a regular desk. I'll put my laptop on top of the keyboard and I'll work here all the time. And I have my planner and my journals and my mic and knickknacks, all sorts of things. So again, we know my favorite shape is the hexagon. This is the other item in this room that is thrifted. I'm not big on thrifting, but I would like to be. I get overwhelmed, but I really liked this piece and I got it for free. And it's a litter box. It's a litter box. So this was another DIY in quarantine. So you open here and you'll see crap. And he can enter through that side. I have my diploma because your girl is smart. I have this bird cage filled with more of my little inserts from cards and positive things. There's some cat treats, and there's another family photo. I also have my little plant babies, more of these DIY air plant hangers with dead air plants. This piece that I really like, it says faith and it's a cross. I really like subtle testaments of faith as opposed to like big gaudy ones. It just feels a little more biblically accurate to me. This piece I love so much. So I went to college in Santa Barbara, which is a really big biking city, and so bicycles always just make me think about the time when I lived there. And it has this little basket that I filled with some old Shakespeare books, a dying fern, and a wind chime that can't blow because there's no wind in here. And then something that is always in my room is my cat. Hi, handsome. Giant mirror also, which is super fun for dancing and being vain. Oh yeah, this is a really cheap lamp. It's not exciting. It was the cheapest one at Target and I've broken it, but I use it as a doorstop so my cat can go in and out. This is an original Karen Miller, aka my second cousin. Last time I visited Canada, she gave it to me because I dance, and so she thought it was fitting. On that same trip, I was there for a wedding, and the bachelorette party was a wine and paint night, which is just so cool. And so this was the painting that we all did, and this was my version. And then this is, I was teaching an art class and I was really bored and I just doodled and then I colored it in. So yeah, this is my room. I might change things up. I would love to paint or wallpaper or something, but it's an apartment and things are temporary. It's always a question of how much do you make it feel like home. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on a tour of my bedroom. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for what I should do with the wall, let me know. I'd love to hear it, and have a great day.